What have you got to smile about today? Me? I don't know, maybe my rosy red cheeks, because I've just been walking for an hour. So I've got a lot of blood circulating around my body right now. So I'm happy and smiling about my rosy red cheeks. Predictions for 2021. Why are you making this video, George? Talk my language. Well, I made a lot of predictions in 2020, and a lot of those predictions came true. And at the start of 2020, a lot of people said, George, you're a whack. And towards the end of 2020, where we are now, a lot of people are coming up to me, those same people are coming up to me and saying, actually, George, you were speaking a lot of sense. So, let's get into it. What are my predictions for 2021? Well, we've had a pretty interesting year, to say the least. A lot of things have happened, and a lot of people are now terrified of a certain word. The C word. I'm not talking about GMO carrots, okay? Let's just give a shout out to all the organic carrots growing right now, ready to be munched on in summer. I can't wait. Shout out to carrots. I'm talking about a word that is so sensitive and so feared that if I was to mention it during this video, there is a strong chance that it'll be taken offline. That was one of my predictions in 2020. I said when people start to make videos about this that say differently to what the news and media are saying, those videos will be taken offline, and they were. Because what's happening in the world right now is that the media, stemming from the goddess Medea, who is cunning and deceiving, they want you to believe one thing. And if you believe something else or do your own research, it isn't taken seriously. It isn't believed. We have recently come out of the age of Pisces, and we are now entering the age of Aquarius. The age of Pisces was all about belief. So for the past 2,000 years, everything's been about belief. I believe in this, I believe in that, I believe if you do this, it could cause that. But the age of Aquarius is all about the truth. The truth is, this is how it is. The truth is, that's how it goes. The truth is, that's what effect that has on your body. And we've been seeing this a lot in recent years. A lot more truth is coming out that a lot of people never believed, but now do. So for the next 2,000 years, the world is entering a new stage, a new chapter. The Mayans predicted this. They said that in 2012, the world as we know it will end. It's 2020, George, not 2012. Well, actually, in the Ethiopian Orthodox calendar, 2012 lands on 2020. So the Mayans were right. When they said the world would end, they didn't mean that everyone's going to die and that the earth is going to explode. They just meant the world as we knew it would end. And that's exactly what's happened. Try to walk into a shop now, as you did 3 years ago, and tell me if the world hasn't changed. Hug someone in the street and watch how people react, and tell me if the world hasn't changed. We are living in a very interesting time. And that is why I have a lot of predictions for 2021. My first prediction is that there's going to be a great divide. And you are going to see this in your daily life, and we're already starting to see it now. It's what I call the Great Divide. Group A and Group B. Group A will live their life in constant total fear. What is fear? False evidence appearing real. Say it again, George, I missed it. False evidence appearing real. That is Group A. And Group A will despise Group B. Group B will live out their life as they did before this all happened. They won't wear the mask. They'll continue to hug. They'll continue to be in groups of whatever. They'll go out for a walk. They'll go out to work. They'll do whatever it is that they want to do because they will live out their life in freedom. They will be in tier freedom. Group A and Group B. Which group, which category will you fall into? When your grandchildren ask, what did you do during the great pandemic? What are you going to say? What side of history were you on? Did you live in fear? Did you believe? Were you back in the age of Pisces where you believed everything? Or did you seek the truth? Did you do your own research? Did you listen to scientists who aren't being funded? Because it's all out there. This leads me into the different tiers. Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3 and Tier 4, right? Which tier are you in right now? Well, here's my prediction. Everyone is going to long and crave for Tier 1 and 2. People will accept Tier 1 and Tier 2. People won't want to leave Tier 1 and Tier 2. People will be just fine to live out the rest of their life in Tier 1 and Tier 2. Why? Because Tier 1 is bliss to these people. Tier 1 is bliss. All you have to do is go into a shop like this. And that's it. You can hug, you can meet up with friends and family, you can have Christmas Day, you can do whatever you want to do, but you just have to go into a shop like this. The moment someone tells you to do something, you are not living your life in freedom. You are being controlled. We currently have 4 tiers in different counties and different states if you're in America. But I believe there will be a 5th tier brought in as well. And this will be total lockdown. And this will be total lockdown, right? The world as we knew it has changed forever. Saturn and Jupiter have come together. Jupiter is about love and expansion. Saturn represents confinement and control. And you think this is a coincidence that the Mayans predicted this? You think it's a coincidence that this is all happening now in 2020, coming out of the age of Pisces, coming into the age of Aquarius? Everyone is living in fear. False evidence appearing real. I've said this in a previous video before. False evidence appearing real. Everyone is living in fear. What does this do to planet Earth? What does this do to the vibration of the Earth, the frequency of the Earth? Well, it keeps it at a low vibration. It keeps you at a low vibration. It keeps everything on the planet at a low vibration. We should be in a high vibration right now because we're coming out of Pisces, coming into Aquarius. What else is going to happen, George? This is all sounding pretty scary. Don't be scared. Good times are coming. Good times are already here. I'm having a great time. Okay, so certain shops, countries and occupations are going to require you to be heavily vaccinated and have proof, or else you cannot work there, you cannot shop there, and you cannot visit and travel there. Why do I say heavily vaccinated? Because you are going to be required to have more than one vaccination. And before anyone calls me out in saying that the vaccination and that these people who run the show have our best interests at heart, think again, because 1 in 2 people die from heart disease, 1 in 2 people die from cancer. Cholesterol, sat fat, trans fat causes heart disease. High sugar intake, stress, aspartame, sucralose will cause cancer in the body. These food products are promoted every single day. They might have even been promoted at the start of this video. They'll be promoted before you watch a movie, in the advertisement, on billboards, on your phone. They'll pop up in the corner. It's promoted every single day when it's been proven to harm you, seriously harm you. But now we're supposed to believe that we're being cared for and that they have our best interests at heart. So beware of the heavily vaccinated population that is going to come in 2021. Will you be a part of that population, or will you be in Tier Freedom? By the way, this is Tier Freedom. There's like no one here, so feel free to join. What else? Did you know that facial expressions help the brain understand what a person is saying more than their voice box? If I said everything like this, you probably wouldn't really get what I'm saying. But when I put a lot of expression into how I'm saying, it comes across so much more clear because you can see my face. Everyone's face is now covered. People with existing mental health problems, mental health issues, are going to find that they're suffering and they don't really know why. It reminds me of elephants who perform for our entertainment, right? Something that I heavily disagree on, and I'm sure you do too. The way to make an elephant perform is to break their spirit. Once the elephant's spirit is broken, a human can do whatever they want to them and make them do whatever they want for them. That is what is happening on planet Earth right now. People's spirits have been broken. People haven't left their house. I know someone who hasn't left their house since March this year. So it's nearly a year that she hasn't left her house. She's living in fear, false evidence appearing real. I know people who didn't celebrate Christmas, aren't going to celebrate the New Year, aren't going to leave their house, aren't going to go back to work, aren't going to do all of these things. Their spirit is broken. They are longing for Tier 1 and Tier 2. They don't want how it was before. They just want a break from the constant uncertainty. They want a break. Now their spirits are crushed, now their spirits are broken, those in the dark shadows can do whatever they want to them and make them do whatever they want. Which is something else I predict, is that people in society are going to police the rules more than those in charge, more than those who call the shots. But all we got to do is stand up, and their plan falls like a deck of cards. And lastly, people who are tested and come back positive will like to brag about how they had it. So anyone who says otherwise, anyone who says, well, actually, listen to these researchers, listen to these scientists, people will say, well, actually, I've had it. I've had it. So you can't say whatever you like because I've had it. It's funny actually, because I know a lot of people who have tested positive and they wouldn't have known otherwise if they didn't get tested. They'd have lived their life completely fine. They'd have just gone on about their life, right? But because they tested positive, they locked themselves up and crushed their spirits. Now this all sounds very doom and gloom, George. You've scared me with this video, I don't like it. Well, I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to make predictions and I'm here to tell you what to expect. But we are now venturing into the age of truth. So expect to hear a lot of truth. And if you don't like it, you need to ask yourself, why don't I like it? We need to stay positive. We need to stay happy. We need to do what feels right. We need to live our lives as we did before. We need to live our lives in freedom, in happiness, in joy, in love. We need to give our partners a hug. We need to give our children a hug. We need to take off the mask. We need to get out in nature. We need to breathe. We need to eat right. We need to look after ourselves. And remember that fear is just false evidence appearing real. And that everything's okay, right? And if it's not okay now, it's not the end, because it's always going to be okay in the end. So if it's not okay now, then it's not the end, is it? It's a process, it's a storybook, and there are many chapters to one story. This is simply a bad chapter if that's how you want to see it. But for me, since this all started, I've actually been okay. I've been happy. I've been out. I've been doing things. I've been living life. Nothing's really changed for me. What have you got to smile about? Wake up every morning and ask yourself that question. What have you got to smile about? Let love guide your life, not fear. If you do that, everything will be okay. What are your predictions for 2021? Let me know in the comments. I'd be interested to hear. But for now, I'm going to continue on this walk, relax, and enjoy life. I'm going to enjoy life so much. Welcome to Tear Freedom.